So I want to talk about how society in America is really broken down. I mean, it's sad. Uh, I was born in the '60s, so I grew up in the '70s, '80s, and yeah, we had basically some of the same problems, but it was dealt with differently. It was seen in a different way. Um, Nowadays, it's like nobody wants to talk uh, about things. That you got to be able to have civil discourse. Uh, if you can't talk through something, then you'll always have problems. It's as simple as that. Um, and unfortunately, very few people want to actually have a factual, intelligent conversation. It's just attack, 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 defend, attack. But even worse is what's happening now is seems like everybody has the mentality, not everybody obviously, but so many people have the mentality that, well, you can't learn something from someone unless they look like you. You can't lead someone unless they look like you. It's just it's beyond stupid. Um, so every aspect of society is becoming more segregational. If you, I guess that's probably the best way to put it. Meaning, everyone's trying to constantly separate. You always hear now women say, "Oh, I'm doing this to inspire women." Well, why not inspire everyone? Why are you focused on just women? Right? I rarely hear that from a man saying, "I'm doing this to inspire men." No. Why would you just focus on women? How about focusing on everyone? You know? So what's happening is everyone is separating and segregating themselves. You, every single group. Black people only want to talk about black issues, and white people only want to talk about white issues, and on and on and on. We all pretty much have the same issues or similar. Some areas might be worse or better or whatever, but it's pretty much the same issues. I mean, we got problems with drugs, overdoses, you know, drunk driving, violence, you name it. And speaking of violence, they want to separate that too. Violence is violence. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change. The reasons why someone was violent doesn't change because they have a different method of violence. So if I pick up a gun, that's not any different than I picked up a knife. I just happen to have a gun instead of a knife, so I picked up the gun. That doesn't address the issue of why was I violent. Never addresses that. So if you never look at the actual issue, you can never solve it. And that's what's happening today. Nobody's looking at the actual issue. And in terms of the way everyone's separating themselves, and it's all these little groups and subgroups, and it reminds me of prison. Um, so I spent 5 years in prison, and it is the most segregated place on the planet. I mean, every single group, blacks are over there, whites over there, others meaning like I'm Greek, so I was considered other. There was a guy from Russia, there was a guy from Italy, and whatever. Iran and whatever. So those are others. So we're the others had a little bit more latitude. They could kind of deal with everyone. And then the Mexicans are separated from each other. You have the this is in California. The southern Mexican gang members hate the northern Mexican gang members, so they got to be separated. And then the northern gang members, and the Mexican Southern gang members hate the Fresno Bulldogs, which are also Mexican. Uh, they're not all Mexican, but most of them are Mexican. Um, and so they're bickering, and then I'm not sure if you guys know this, but a lot of Latinos, especially Mexicans, they hate black people far worse than. I mean, it's even worse than like white supremacists. It's way worse. I mean, they hate them, hate black people. And then the Asians are separated into different groups as well because they don't get along. The Filipinos, they don't get along with the Chinese, and then Koreans, and on and on. So there's so much. Every little group and subgroup is segregated and separated from each other. And that's what America is becoming. Every group is separating itself from each other. And no one's talking. They're just arguing or fighting. And nothing good can come out of that. Nothing good. So we need to stop that nonsense and just start thinking as a whole group, not just, I'm Greek, so what, I'm just going to think about Greek people? No, everyone. What's the best thing for everyone in this nation? Everyone, period. No matter who you are. And we got to start talking to people with respect. I'm not very religious, but there are some good stuff. There's some good stuff in the Bible. And, one old adage from there that we all know of is, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You got to live by that. I mean, so in other words, why be an ass to somebody? Why physically assault them or verbally assault them, treat them bad? You wouldn't want that happening to you. So why are you doing it to someone else? Unless they've done something, unless that specific person has done something to you, you have no reason to do that. Right, so look, I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and you didn't have as much problems then. People have the mentality that we were much more racist than we weren't. We're more racist now than we were 50 years ago. People got along better 50 years ago than they do now. So the time, if we don't stop this, then there's no way we can move forward as a united country. There's just no way. I mean, you have so many liberals in the West and the Northeast that, I'm in Texas right now, and they don't even, just the fact that we exist, it enrages them. It enrages them. I mean, like they have a right to say how I can think and how I can live? No, you're over there, go do your thing. And leave us alone. That's it. You don't have to like my lifestyle or my mentality. As long as I'm not hurting you or anybody, which I'm not, then you should have no issue. So, anyway, because back 70s and 80s, me, my siblings, it never occurred to us, and a lot of people in my generation, it literally never occurred to us what skin color you were, what ethnicity you were, man. It was just the person. That was it. I mean, growing up, I had every type of friend. One guy from France, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, black guys, white guys, Jewish. What's the difference? You just judge the person. That's it. Nothing else. Not the political party, not their skin color, not anything. All right.